What's going on YouTube, man? Today we have a brand new video for you guys. This video is on my settings, pretty much what I run. For you guys who do know and who do watch my videos all the time, you guys do know that I play claw now, so I do have new settings. I do not play on 2020 cents. And just I hope you guys just take these settings and just apply it to your game. Hopefully it helps you out. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So first we have the keyboard and mouse. The keyboard and mouse, we don't dab into that. I don't play keyboard and mouse, so that's just not what I do. For general, of course, we have the controller. I do play on 120 FOV. A lot of people do say that it takes away your aim assist, blah, 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 blah. It works for me. It may not work for you, but it works for me. You may go down, go whatever size you want, 105, 110, and hopefully it improves your aim assists or whatnot, but I do 120. Now yes, the lower you do go, your aim assist does get better. You do lose aim assist once you go to 120, but like I said, I choose 120. I think the sweet spot for an average person who does not like to go to 120 would be around 110 to 115, possibly 105. A lot of people run 105. I know Booyah runs 105. My brightness is set at 63. All this stuff was set. Regular wasn't touched. Skip introduction movie, that was enabled. I left that. Tooltips, left that. My color buying sense, I do tritanopia. I think that's what it's called, tritanopia. A lot of people do this one, but I don't really like that one, so I chose this one. Color blind target, choose both. It would help with the with your background plus the people, the enemies that you're seeing. Your mini map, please people, change this to square. You do see more of the map. So for instance, right, so when we're going to your mini map, you won't see this if you have this on circle. All these you're missing. That's like 25% of the map that you're missing. And if you do the total, that's 100% of the map that you're missing, because you're doing 25, 25, 25, 25. So 100. This one you get to see 100% of the map. So that's the map that that's the square option that I chose. Mini map rotation, I chose that enabled. A lot of people I think do disabled from what I heard. But I suggest you do enabled only because, let's say if I'm facing behind, the map readjusts and shows me what's in front of me. So yeah, I put that enabled. Compass cardinal direction tags, I left that. I don't really touch that. The rest of the stuff I really do not touch. Only thing I do have enabled was the frames per second. It allows me to see my frames on the top left corner. Server latency, of course, that kind of tells me like my ping and throughout the gameplay, so I do have that enabled. Pack loss as well. GPU temperature, GPU time, and all the other stuff I really do not touch. I just would like less stuff on my screen while I'm playing. A lot of people like to have all that stuff. Just my personal preference. I do not like to have all that stuff on my screen. So it's all personal preference. You guys can always turn that on. Mind you, I do want to tell you guys these settings right here, like the keyboard and mouse and all that stuff, I do play on PC. A lot of you guys probably would not have that setting. I think the PS5 or now the PS4 has enabled the fact that now if you're on console, you can put the setting where you can put the plates and apply all. I know before they didn't have that. I'm pretty sure you guys do have that now, but I will go over that in a bit. Graphics, I do play on full screen. As you guys do know, I play on dual monitors. I do run on a single PC. I will be doing a double PC real soon. So all these settings are going to change very soon. My GPU, you guys can see, it's a 1615 Super, nothing special. My CPU is an i5 Intel. Render resolution 1920 by 1080p. You guys can play, I think, I forgot, it was one of these settings where you guys can play if you do have a 4K monitor. My refresh rate from my monitor is 144 hertz. You have to play at the top hertz. It's just what I recommend to you guys and what everybody else recommends to you guys. I think pretty much else everything here was not touched. NVIDIA highlights not touched. Since my PC is a lower end PC, I do play on very low. When I do get my other PC, I'll still probably play on low. But who knows? Texture filter, I don't touch any of this stuff, none of this stuff. Particle lighting, I did hear that if you put it on high, it does help a lot. So I suggest that as well. Bullet impact sprays, as you guys can see by the example, is if somebody is shooting through metal doors and all that stuff, you can see the bullet holes. I do have that disabled. I think that's personal preference. Again, you guys can choose if you want to see that or not. I just chose not to. Tessellation, don't touch that. I don't touch that. I don't touch any of this stuff. Shadow map resolution, I usually have that low. I don't know why it's at normal, but whatever. And all this stuff I still don't touch. This sometimes occasionally I do switch to SMAA1X. I really don't know what that does. I just know the person who built my PC told me to switch that. But I really don't see a difference, so I kind of just go back and forth. And everything else, guys, I do want to mention this world motion blur. Please have that disabled. That's if you're moving sideways. As you guys can see by example, it's like blurry, it's hard to see. You want to be able to see the entire map as you're moving. You want to be able to see everything. If an enemy is in that blur spot while you're moving, you're not going to be able to see them. So I have that disabled. Weapon motion blur, as you guys can see by example 2, is if you're moving, it also becomes blur. It's the same effect as world motion blur. Man, I can't say that word. World motion blur. But the only thing is it's for the weapon, so I do have that disabled as well. Film grain, I do have at 0. Apply. Audio, I do play on boost low. I do have a mix amp, so I am able to adjust. I will also show you guys my mix amp settings so you guys can see. It's nothing special as well, so you guys are gonna see in a little bit. My master volume, I do have that at 100. Music, I don't really like to hear the lobby music or any of that stuff, so I just put it at 0. Dialogue, which is when enemies are calling a UAV or if somebody's flying in, that's that volume. Do have that on 30. I don't have it completely low because I still like to hear when people are falling down, so I put that at 30. Effects, that's like people's footsteps. Of course, you want that extremely loud so you guys can know where everybody's coming from. Juggernaut music, I have that enabled. I really don't too much care for that. Hit marker sound, this is also personal preference. I do have mine on MW. I used to have it none, but I like to hear the hit marker sound, so I do have it on MW. Wish I enabled. Other stuff is, you know, touched or anything like that. This, you guys already know. If I'm in a random lobby, I usually have it push to talk. I don't really want to talk to anybody, or I don't want to say anything. Open mic, it allows me to now talk to everybody that I'm playing with. But other than that, everything else is set here. I do occasionally play with this one. This is if my friends' mics are too loud, I will lower it down, or I lower it down to my mix amp. And if I am on Discord, then I'll lower it down through Discord. But other than that, guys, I hate this. Guys, make sure you guys turn this off. Word tracks as a passenger, that's the musics that you listen to as you're riding a car. That's super annoying. I know there's a glitch where sometimes it will stay, so I just completely turned it off and turned the volume down to completely 0. Now the moment you guys been waiting for, I do play claw. If you guys do know, that's when I hold my hand, my index finger's here, and the top button I use my middle finger to aim. And then this side I do not play claw. I play regular left side. Oh shoot, sorry. I do play regular on the left side, but on my right side I do play claw, so I only play right hand claw. So I play default flipped. Again, so that means default flip. That means these top buttons right here on your PS4 controller are the triggers, and the aim down sight and the tactical and lethal are on the bottom trigger, so L2 and R2. Everything else is default. I do play on a 0.05 dead zone. As you guys do know from my last settings video, I did play on 2020 cents, but I do not play on 2020 cents. It was a lot harder for me to get adjusted to it playing claw, so I decided to go 6.6. Actually, my personal preference, I just actually recently switched to 6.6. I was playing on 5.5 before, so it's all personal preference. I would say the sweet spot right now in Warzone, a lot of people like to play the high sense, like myself, but I found out that just didn't work for me. Like Mutex, he plays on Insane 2020, but the thing is that you guys got to take into consideration is that Mutex has an amazing centering, you know, ability. He can center his crosshair in the middle of the screen whenever he wants, which makes it a lot easier for him to, you know, aim at people and shoot people. A lot of people do not have that talent to center at the time, so the lower sense, the better you guys are able to control it. So that's why I went back down to 6.6. And don't get me wrong, Mutex can play on 7.7. He used to play on 7.7 before 2020, so I mean, you guys can choose your sweet spot, but my sweet spot right now, and what I suggest and what other streamers are suggesting, is about 5 to 7 around that range. Occasionally some people do 8. Yeah, that's pushing it, but I think 5 to 7, you're in that sweet spot. ADS multiplier, I leave that at 1.0. I really do not touch it. Aim response curve tie, I do play on dynamic. A lot of people do choose these standards and linears, but I choose dynamic. It's just what's best for me. Controller vibrations, guys, do not turn that off. That can also mess up your aiming in the middle of the game. Me, unfortunately, I do have a battle beaver, so I took the rumbles off, so I don't have any rumbles on there. Which I suggest, if you guys do want to go pick up a battle beaver, you guys can check down my battle beaver review in my channel and let you know exactly what this controller is. When you guys do know that when I did buy this controller, I was playing with paddles, so I did get the buttons in the back, but I recently switched to claw about, I'll say, a couple weeks back. So I don't really, what I do is I position my hands to the point where they're not touching this, or it's just kind of above it, and then the other one's not touching that one at all. So I mean, it doesn't hinder me at all. But if you guys do play paddles, I highly suggest battle beaver. It's cheaper than scuff and it lasts longer. I've dropped my controller plenty of times. I've dropped my controller just literally from my desk straight down. I've dropped it numerous times. It works like I just got it yesterday. So make sure you guys go check them out. I wish I did have a code, but I do not have a code. It's not a sponsor, review or anything like that. I'm just telling you, and my personal preference, that you guys should use a battle beaver. Aim assist, a lot of people do choose precision and focusing. I stay standard. Don't really touch that one. Scale aim assist with FOV. I use that enabled. Weapon mount activation. I really don't touch that one. Everything else I really don't touch here. Aim down sight behavior, hold, equipment behavior. So that would be my heartbeat, if I'm not mistaken. I also have that on hold. Use reload behavior, contextual tap. That will help a lot. I know Booyah does do where he does hold square. So like, let's say if he's entering a car, he has to hold it. If he's picking up something, he has to hold it. I just use contextual tap. It allows you to pick up things when you're looting very fast. Depleted ammo weapon switch. So when I'm shooting my primary or secondary and I run out of ammo, it automatically switches the gun for me. That's what that is. So I have that enabled. Now this is what I was talking about with the apply armor. Before, I think PC only had it. Now I believe they enabled console to do it. So now, before, it default comes like this, apply one, so you only apply one. But as I'm running away from my enemy, or let's say if I down one and I'm taking a different route around the building, I want to be able to play if I'm hurt, and it applies it throughout the entire time. I can slide cancel, I can do anything. And how you guys do cancel that animation, just double tap the triangle. That's all you have to do, or just tap it and it'll switch back to your gun. So for you guys who are wondering, that's how you guys do that. Everything else, slide behavior, I do have that on tap. That allows me to slide cancel. As you guys do know, I don't slide cancel with paddles. I slide cancel with double tap circle and go to X. Auto move forward, I really don't have that. You can enable that if you want. That's if you're like not focusing or anything like that, and you just double tap something and it automatically goes forward for you. I do play on automatic tactical sprint. There's a lot of debate whether or not to run this or not, because if you're running a shotgun, you can't shoot it while you're moving forward because you're automatically going into a sprint. But I've learned how to control that and what my game is when I'm in close quarters, so it just works for me. I do suggest it, but if you guys don't want to, by all means, you guys can go with automatic sprint or disable it. You're gonna have to manually press that left analog stick to go forward. So yeah, vehicle camera recenter enabled. Parachute auto deploy, I do have that disabled. That allows me to get to the right distance on the floor without me getting shot from the sky with the parachute automatically popping. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's my settings. I love these settings. I recently switched to it, and it works for me, so that's what I stick to. But without further ado, guys, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe. Make sure you guys do check out my other videos on my channel. You guys mess with it, don't be afraid to smash that like button. Don't be afraid to smash that subscribe button as well. Make sure you guys turn on bell notifications so you guys can be notified every time I do post on the channel. Without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.